In order that all sentient beings may attain Buddhahood, from my heart I take refuge in the three jewels. In order that all sentient beings may attain Buddhahood, from my heart I take refuge in the three jewels. In order that all sentient beings may attain Buddhahood, from my heart I take refuge in the three jewels. Whatever the virtues, the many fields of knowledge, all are steps in the path of omniscience. May these arise in the clear mirror of intellect. O Manjushri, please accomplish this. Oh, good evening, everyone. Great to see you. How's everyone this evening? It's raining here, thundering, storming. All right.
I just had an illusion or something was like bouncing on top of your head or something. I don't know.
Wow.
I must be imagining things.
You saw my aura?
Is that what that is? Wow.
Maybe. I don't know. It sounded like it. So we are on page 824, I believe. Does anyone else have beliefs? Prasangikas don't have beliefs, by the way.
Say again what page? It should be 523.
I thought we did the very beginning of this.
We did, you're right.
524 is what I had.
Yeah, my reading reminder was off by a page. Yeah. Okay, so the bottom of page 524, we're in the conclusion. And this is our last class, so everyone has a beer or a glass of wine or a shot of whiskey with them. And some food like momos and some really good chocolate cake, right? All right, we're all celebrating. Wow. Part 2 of the conclusion. Part 1 was enhancement. Part 2 is 5 mistaken ideas, 3 skills, and 3 kayas. Catchy title. Eliminating 5 mistaken ideas. To clear away hindrances, do as follows. Be free from any fixation to objects. Be they virtuous objects, unvirtuous, and so forth. That's pretty easy, right? No brainer. Know that the 3 times do not exist. Also give up the thought, I will attain awakening at such and such a time. We all have that scheduled, right? Be certain that awakening occurs in an instant. Do not regard your mind as something ordinary. Know that from the beginning, its essence is that of the 5 wisdoms. Do not regard your skandhas, dhatus, and ayatanas as unclean. Have the certainty that from the outset they are gods and goddesses, male and female tathagatas. Give up the desire to be liberated through just study and reflection. Resolve to be liberated through meditation and the Guru's blessings. Those are the 5 mistaken ideas about objects, time, essence, nature, and prajna to be eliminated. That's an interesting list. Is that reminiscent, that list, of anything? Objects, time, essence, nature, prajna. Maybe not. Developing 3 skills. Sit properly in the physical posture. When your mind is still, look at its nature within that stillness and rest in equipoise. When it is active, look at its nature within that activeness and rest in equipoise. At the beginning, that is how to be skilled in initiating meditation. No matter what's going on in your mind when you meditate, just sit in equipoise. All right, we got a martini going on here. Cheers. All right. Here, here. Vodka or gin?
Gin.
All right, a traditional martini. How many olives?
Didn't have time.
Ah, okay, but shaken, not stirred, right?
Shaked.
Shaken.
Up the stairs. Shh. Quickly.
Do not adhere to one type of samadhi or physical posture. They should be changed. Do not let yourself become exhausted. So switch around your posture. In the middle, be skilled in suspending your meditation. When things are going well, you suspend your meditation, you destroy it. No matter what kind of good experiences arise, do not fixate on them. In the end, be skilled in sustaining experiences. That's a hard one, huh? When your meditation is going well, you're supposed to kill it. You're supposed to destroy it. That's tough. Recognizing the three kayas. The myriad appearances of mind are the Nirmanakaya.
About that killing the meditation, it seems to me that when you include two, don't do one type, you're not so much killing it as you're changing the channel, maybe. Because it also says sustain
Where?
in the same paragraph. The very said, be skilled in sustaining experiences. But also right before that, it says change things up. So I don't think you're going back to zero. In fact, I don't even know if that's possible.
No, it's not possible. But do not let yourself become exhausted.
Right. So like, don't beat a dead horse. I mean, don't, don't drag it into, and, don't let it get stagnant. But you know when it's time to, try, maybe do some chants or something.
Be skilled in suspending your meditation in the middle, in the
Yeah,
beginning.
it has beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah. Okay. Recognizing the three kayas, the myriad appearances of mind, or the Nirmanakaya. Its awareness is the Sambhoga kaya. Its emptiness is the Swabhavika kaya. The inseparability of those three aspects is the Dharmakaya. Be certain that all of samsara and nirvana, all apparent existence, is of the nature of those four kayas. Determine that all phenomena have no arising, ceasing, or abiding, that they are free from the extremes of conceptual elaborations. Rest evenly without any hopes or fears, without rejecting or adopting anything. That was the second section. Three strains and 4 deviations. We've seen this before. The 3 strains, if you fixate on bliss, clarity, or non-conceptuality, you will stray into the 3 realms. Which one are which? Bliss is the desire realm, the God realms of the desire realm, clarity, the form realms, non-conceptuality, the formless realms. Therefore, regardless of whether good or bad experiences arise, do not take any of them to be supreme. The 4 deviations in relation to emptiness. You may think and meditate that the nature of all phenomena becomes emptiness through your ascertainment of emptiness, based on the reasoning that they are neither one nor many. Think that phenomena become emptiness by seeing them or understanding them as emptiness. Or, having analyzed phenomena, you may think about and meditate on non-existence. That is simply the negation of existence, saying, this is the emptiness of everything. That is deviating from emptiness as the basic nature. So these are all mistakes in about emptiness, since it will cause you to have a crude understanding of actions and their results. Give up that grasping at non-existence and meditating on an intellectually constructed emptiness. Look at the nature of grasping at non-existence and do not fabricate. Non-existence is in some ways attractive, isn't it? It has a certain allure to it. It has no problems. It's very simple, pure. Not realizing that objects to be abandoned and their remedies are both empty. When the many mental afflictions and negative thoughts arise in your mind stream, you may think, these are stealing the life force of liberation. Do you guys think that when you experience kleshas? These kleshas are stealing my life force, stealing the life force of my path, my progress on the path. You might think that and take them to be your enemies. Thinking they must be destroyed by emptiness, you take the two, mental afflictions and emptiness, to be objects to be abandoned and the remedy, and then meditate on emptiness. You're going to conquer afflictions with emptiness, bang them over the head with emptiness. Meditating on emptiness in that way is to deviate from emptiness as the remedy. Recognize the very nature of those mental afflictions, or the very nature of the thought that takes the objects to be abandoned and their remedies as separate, and rest without blocking or encouraging anything. Not realizing that the ground, path, and result are all empty, you might think the best path for the attainment of Buddhahood is emptiness. If I realize this, it is the supreme path. All other paths are inferior. In that way, you ignore the aspect of method. That is deviating from emptiness as the path. Recognize the nature of the thought that fixates on emptiness. That takes emptiness to be sublime among paths. Looking in that way, you will see that everything is empty. Recognize emptiness without discriminating between objects to be abandoned and remedies, or something being superior or inferior. You might seal phenomena with an intellectually created emptiness, or with a mantra whose import you have not experienced, and simply think, everything is empty. Or you may think, since everything is empty, nothing exists. What could conditioned virtuous actions possibly do? They're completely empty. How could they have efficacy? With that, you deny karmic causes and results. That is deviating from emptiness as the seal. Look directly at the thought, this is emptiness, and recognizing it, remain in its own essence, which is non-conceptual. Okay. Clarifying your understanding of emptiness. It is not that these intellectually created emptinesses are always inappropriate. As if as a beginner you do not engage in intellectually created meditations, you will not be able to realize emptiness despite having been taught about it from the beginning. That's a very powerful statement. We have to use intellectually created meditations to begin the process of understanding emptiness. What would be an intellectually created meditation on emptiness?
A Madhyamaka reasoning.
Like what? What are those?
Oh, one or many.
What does that mean?
Are the building blocks of reality singular or plural?
What does the plural mean?
Plural means more than one come together to create.
More than one building block comes together.
Right.
And so you're saying that's incorrect?
Well, there's a singular building block is of itself can't be singular because it has multiple parts to it as well.
So it sounds like multiplicity is the only possibility.
In interdependence.
What's the difference between interdependence and multiplicity?
Well, multiplicity could imply that it's all just one thing.
How could multiplicity imply one thing when it's
Well,
multiple
well,
things?
multiple of the same thing
Many of the same thing.
could be multiplicity. Could be one way of thinking of it. That could be. I mean, I don't agree that that's how it is, but you could logically go there.
What would be the formulation of that in a statement?
A plus A plus A plus A.
Things are empty because phenomena are empty
Because they are neither singular nor multiple.
because they're neither singular nor multiple. That's a slam dunk, right? That's like a given. Everyone knows that reasoning, right? This is the last class. It's your last time to go. No, actually, in the fall, we're going to have endless courses on emptiness. Whole
Well, that's
series.
what I was going to say. I was going to say, you get into that Remy Shedra class in the back of Shambhala and you read Madhyamaka Lankara and you go, wow, this is how you do it. That's how.
Yeah, that was it for me too. Madhyamaka Alankar by Chandra Rakshita. That was a great one. That was many years ago. Well, I hope those of you that are joined for this one that haven't usually been part of Rime Shedra will be interested in learning about emptiness in the fall. Anyway, once you become, so starting with the intellectually created meditation of emptiness. Mary Beth,
mean, isn't our meditation technique where we like only focus on the exhale and then we like go out into
where do
space?
we go when we go out?
Exactly. I feel like that's a an intellectually created meditation that's trying to help us connect to emptiness.
In what way? Explain that.
Well, I guess I mean, some notion of like the opportunity for a gap to happen when you're not focusing on anything. And then you got to come back. And then again, there's this opportunity for something to happen because you're not focusing on anything. And then you come back. So it's like this, it's very contrived, but it with, toward something meaningful happening if you keep doing it, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
That
That's
starts
for
to
sure.
change, right? Though then eventually that starts to change. Well, then we're not meditating on our breath, right? Then we're meditating on movement and stillness or nothing, or all those, I think, are still, they're all intellectually created until, they're
Mm,
not. And we,
mm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. We got two examples. Thank you very much. Once you become familiar with it, eventually the realization will arise automatically without having to be intellectually created. Therefore, it is fine to meditate on intellectually created emptiness in the beginning. However, in the end, it is a deviation from Mahamudra. It must be abandoned. Would it be correct to say that all phenomena possess emptiness?
Possess?
Possess.
What does possess mean?
It's one of their characteristics.
Yes.
You're okay
I
with
know.
that? Cynthia.
Well, that seems like it's saying that they exist with characteristics.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting distinction. It's like saying, so what would be the alternative to saying, well, all phenomena possess emptiness, are marked with emptiness? What would be an alternative way of saying it? Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Well, emptiness possesses phenomena. I mean,
Emptiness possesses phenomena.
I mean, I go like this.
It goes both ways. Cynthia, any alternative phraseology?
Well, I mean, they used words like nature and things like that. Um, I don't know if that advances the understanding entirely, whether that still ends up being sort of a characteristic, but it's not quite as possessive.
How about embody?
All phenomena embody emptiness. Wow. I see some uncomfortable looks. Morgan, how would you say all phenomena? What would you say?
Form is emptiness and emptiness is form.
Anything else?
Well, I mean, it's not, if you start saying things like embody or possesses or whatever, you're thinking there's a thing here that has another thing there. And that's not right.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
As far as the anything else, yes, there's two more lines in that sutra.
That's right. In that particular section. That's great. Thank you.
What if
Say again.
emptiness?
I'm sorry, Barbara. What?
Weird phenomena equals emptiness.
Phenomena equal emptiness, like an equation. What would that be in English? Phenomena are emptiness. Is that like saying form is
What an
emptiness?
equal sign. So it in my head equals was like a little bit not the same as the word equals.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Is there a difference between saying phenomena are empty and phenomena are emptiness? Eric.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that if I were going to say something, it would be all phenomena are empty of essence.
Yeah. Yeah. With it, and can you explain the significance of the nuance of the way you
Um,
said that?
because otherwise there's a reification. I mean, we use the reified noun of shunyata or emptiness all the time. So it seems kind of a funny argument to make, but it seems more like that reification is what hangs us up. We're looking for emptiness as a thing that's apart from our phenomena, from
Yeah,
our
yeah,
experience.
yeah, which goes back to what Morgan said and that Cynthia was getting at. Yeah,
Yeah, empty of inherent existence is one of the other.
yeah.
Empty of
Okay, good. So helpful to think. I think the main point is like we got to understand this intellectually at first, and gradually. Oh man, my dog. We have doggy door, and she just came back in all wet. Oh, that was really nice of you.
Did she
Dirty.
shake it out all over you?
Not yet. Also dirty. She was digging. What were you digging? Can you guys see her? Okay. Good girl. Therefore, it is fine to meditate on intellectually created emptiness. In the beginning, however, in the end, it is a deviation. It must be abandoned. Those are the hindrances of the four deviations. Do not confuse what is to be abandoned with what is to be adopted. Without making assumptions, rest without contrivance, right within whatever arises. Presumably that's to be adopted. Not wavering from that fresh state. Do not adopt a rigid physical posture or retain your breath. Be relaxed. Be natural, right? Do not prevent or promote, reject or adopt any thoughts, be they virtuous, non-virtuous, or unspecified. Curious that she put neutral in the parentheses when she, I think in other places she says neutral. Let whatever arises unfold naturally without any grasping, remain free. Is it possible to constrain whatever arises from arising? Like he says, let them arise, as if we could possibly constrain them from arising.
I'd say it's more once they've arisen, we can manipulate them.
We don't have a lot of time to do that. They're
Not recommended, but
instantaneous.
right.
Okay. Remain free. That's going to become tough, more and more difficult in this country. When are we all going to move? 4 and 5.
And where?
And where? Yeah. Canadian, I think. 5 difficult passages and 3 hindrances. 5 difficult passages where enemies manifest. Once thoughts and mental afflictions arise properly as meditation, there may be times when your thoughts are rough and numerous. If they become wild and your meditation cannot tame them, thoughts have arisen as enemies. You should recognize the essence of thoughts and the thoughts themselves. Rather than regarding them as problems, consider them to be useful. That's a good way to approach the current situation in the country, right? That's a tough one. Make them your real meditation, and their nature will manifest as the Dharmakaya, free from elaborations. Practice that way. Previously, any mental afflictions that arose were purified by emptiness.
So the trick here then is you have all these thoughts, but somehow you can still maintain some distance to not be in them.
Interestingly,
Is that what's being advised here? Like, they're all coming up. Just don't wear them.
yeah, let whatever arises unfold naturally without any grasping.
Because the big temptation with me when a thought train comes along that's interesting is to get on board.
Yeah, buy your ticket, get on the train. Definitely. It's an important one. I have to think that one through. We're talking about thoughts.
Exactly. Yeah. That's and then boom. I'm really not meditating, on the thoughts anymore. I am the thought.
I'm thinking thoughts, yeah. Okay, thank you for that distinction. That's important. That's essential. Practice that way. Make them your meditation, and their nature will manifest as the Dharmakaya, free from elaborations. Practice that way. Previously, any mental afflictions that arose were purified by emptiness, as if they were unpure initially, and they could be purified by emptiness. Does emptiness have the capability of functioning? How can emptiness performs a function? It purifies. That's a funny phrase, isn't it? They were purified by emptiness. There may come a time when mental afflictions such as desire arise uncontrollably. I don't know if you've experienced this, but if not, that time will come. Mental afflictions have arisen as enemies at that point. Part of what is said in more so in other texts, but we'll see. It's a little bit here, is that as you progress on the path of meditation, it sort of elicits more and more difficulties, emotional, klesha, karmic difficulties. All this like difficult karma rises up, matures, right? And anything that happens on the path, once we're on the path of meditation, is to be seen as being the result of our practice, and as a good sign that we're making progress. When we're afflicted by afflictions, it's counterintuitive, but by remaining in that state without stopping or producing anything, mental afflictions will be purified on the spot without being abandoned. Their vivid manifestation will be self-purified right within bliss, clarity, and non-conceptuality, or emptiness, as explained in the context of integrating thoughts into the path. If you remember that section, practice like that. When you examine, analyze, and search for mind, nothing is found. Seeing that all phenomena do not exist, you may dismiss the relative validity of what is to be abandoned, remedies virtue and evil, and emphasize experiences of emptiness. Everything, yourself and others, becomes empty. In not knowing what to do, you grasp at emptiness. That is emptiness arising as an enemy, or glibness. That's a really interesting term. Emptiness arising as an enemy, or glibness, using emptiness as a remedy. Grasping at emptiness is glibness.
What is glibness? I don't know that word.
Yeah, anyone, what is glibness? Who wants to look it up for us?
I think it's a bit maybe shallow. Um,
Superficial, yeah. Superficial, shallow, glib, defensive. What else?
Like a cheap remedy.
Walking the surface.
Is that what it says?
No, I didn't look it up. I'm just going with the flavor of the word.
Glibness refers to the quality of being fluent and easy in speech, often to the point of being thoughtless, superficial, or insecure.
yeah, fluent, easy superficiality is what I see.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or
So
I
there's, a,
remember,
there's,
oh,
an,
I'm sorry.
there's an unreasonable quality to it. In other words, it hasn't been thought through.
It's like offhand, like it's just like a quick response.
Oh,
Sorry, Barbara.
like the word, I just remembered from art school, the word facility, like just of just being able to just do it without completely, without any substance, but it looked good or something like
Mm,
that.
right. Sue.
Um, so is the first one these rough thoughts, a little bit aggression, and then there's the desire thoughts, and then is this one a little bit ignorance,
That,
dumb?
that's an interesting idea. So the first one meaning the paragraph that
The
begins,
rough and numerous thoughts are rough and numerous. So it's sort of like an aggressive nature of the mind.
let's see, rough and numerous. Where's that? Oh,
At the bottom of
your thought.
257,
Right.
and it's talking about thoughts have arisen as enemies. Your thoughts are rough and numerous, and they become wild.
I
And your
don't think that
meditation,
specifies any specific flavor of passion, aggression, or ignorance.
Yeah,
I think
I
we're
think
talking
just
it
about all
applies
thoughts.
to.
wild.
I think it applies to all afflictions. Each one of these.
Okay.
Where is our glibness now? There it is. If you recognize that is emptiness arising as an enemy or glibness. So 528 on the end of the first full paragraph. If you recognize that grasping at emptiness, if you recognize that grasping at emptiness and remain without blocking or encouraging anything, it will dissipate. Rest in that way. Most things dissipate if you don't react to them, right? While you know that appearances are dependently originated, you still might reify emptiness and feel constricted. Constricted by emptiness. That's an interesting idea. Feel constricted. Or you might fixate on and be fearful of whatever appearances you see, becoming deeply uneasy with appearances. Appearances have arisen as enemies. If you recognize appearances, your reification of them and the essence of those, and also rest without blocking or establishing anything, this will clear up. Through your meditation, you may develop faith, compassion, and so forth to a greater degree than other people. When those qualities are not purified as Mahamudra, they can lapse into being very ordinary. Presumably preoccupied with your self-image, I guess. You may feel compassion for others who do not have such virtues and think that now there is greater benefit in working for the welfare of others than there is in your own practice of Mahamudra. Although you are not accomplished, you cast aside the cultivation of your own virtues and set about trying to benefit others. Compassion has arisen as an enemy. Have we seen this before in this text? Compassion. I've seen this somewhere. Compassion has arisen as an enemy. I've seen this somewhere else, not recently. Recognize the mind that has such heartfelt compassion and rest without suppressing or promoting anything. So compassion arising as an enemy is thinking that it's more important to continue to do things like for your Dharma center or this and that instead of practicing.
I think it was in Moonbeams that came up.
Yeah, I think so too. Recognize the mind that has such heartfelt compassion and rest without suppressing or promoting anything. In a state where that vivid compassion is clear and being of the nature of Mahamudra, make vast aspiration prayers that will banish this enemy and create the auspicious connections for benefiting others. When you have not determined the view, you may decide, I must train in the minor subjects, such as grammar and valid cognition, and then I will realize the primordial view. Does anyone ever get that urge to study grammar? What are you laughing at? Why are you laughing? Eric, you do?
Yeah, well, actually, yeah. I mean, but I think it's sort of, it's not, that's just an example. I think we all may have the urge to, oh my gosh, I really have to like, deeply understand some minor point of the Abhidharma or something. There's nothing wrong with any of that at all. It may be really helpful, but I think it's the idea that it's a trade-off. It's reifying that, like I'm accomplishing something,
Right,
by memorizing 100 whatever is that's going to do it.
right. That's going to be the remedy.
Right. That reminds me of like in Shambhala, the one of the definitions of laziness was busyness.
Yeah, that's in the obstacles to shamatha. Valid cognition is very helpful. And put aside your meditation. Cause and result may have risen as an enemy in this case. Apply yourself to both the view and meditation by cultivating those without hope or fear. You will vanquish this enemy. Practice accordingly. By cultivating those, i.e., view and meditation without hope or fear, you will vanquish this enemy of compassion arising as an enemy. The three hindrances.
I think that was about the minor
The
subjects.
minor subjects, yeah, probably. Thank you. The three hindrances, they are also the hindrances of illness, demons, and to samadhi, and the flaws of dullness, agitation, or sluggishness. No matter what arises, examine its nature, color, shape, origin, abiding, and departure without affirming or negating anything. Be certain that nothing has inherent existence. Alternatively, you can practice taking and sending to dispel illness or demons without any hopes or fears whatsoever, such as being afraid that you will get sick or hoping for relief. Take illnesses and demons to be the four kayas and practice. Illness and demons. What would be a demon in our world?
A deadline.
A deadline would be a demon. Yeah, a boss, your boss might be a demon.
A senate,
A senate, definitely a demon.
a collection of demons.
Definitely a demon.
What about
Paula,
depression? Would that be
depression is definitely a demon, yeah. That's a big one. That's a big one for many of us. Take illnesses and demons to be the four kayas in practice. So the myriad appearances of mind are the nirmana kaya. Its awareness is the sambhoga kaya, meaning the mind's awareness is the sambhoga kaya, and mind's emptiness is the swabhavika kaya, and the inseparability of those is the dharma kaya. So I just went back to clarify the kayas. For dullness, agitation, and the like, adjust your focus or activities. If you're experiencing dullness, employ methods that agitate. If you are agitated, use methods that bring dullness, or dispel them by looking at the essence of dullness or agitation and resting in that. Although there are many ways to dispel hindrances, I have not written about them for fear of being wordy. You should learn from them from your guru's oral instructions. Many ways to dispel hindrances. Summary. Those of the highest abilities have no hindrances to remove because they realize everything to be the intrinsic state, free from elaborations. It is taught that all these difficult passages arise during the phase of one taste. So this is in our future, at least mine, hopefully. They are also said to be signs that Mahamudra practitioners have purified into emptiness the flare-ups of their latent tendencies of mental afflictions and thoughts, which have been solidified in their mind streams. That's what I was talking about earlier. It's like you loosen up all these solidified karmic impediments in our mind streams, and so they begin to manifest. The path and result in other traditions. Anyone know what path and result is, or what tradition that is usually called?
Is that Lamrim?
No, it has a Lamrim aspect to it, but it's a different
The,
system.
the causal path.
No, it's a reference to the teachings, the specific scheme of the Sakya tradition, the path and result. Path and result. The path and result in other traditions teach that, generally speaking, during the perfection process with characteristics, hindrances and difficult passages arise due to the interdependence of the channels, winds, bindus, and mind, gathering through the force of practices corresponding to the respective class of a particular mental affliction or thought. During the perfection process with characteristics. And this is during the one taste. So I guess the one taste path is divided into with characteristics and without. There are many deviations, difficult passages, and hindrances of illnesses, demons, and to samadhi, but probably most are included in just these. You should know the ways to dispel problems,
So
as
all these
explained.
issues arise on the path of seeing.
Well, how could that be? It's instantaneous.
Right, but isn't that what they're saying here, though?
I think they're saying on the path of one taste. No,
Isn't one taste already on the path of seeing?
no, it's familiarization.
Ah, okay. I'm mistaken then.
Yeah, which is interesting because on it's after path of seeing, which is seeing emptiness directly, seeing that all phenomena possess emptiness. Just kidding.
So I thought it was one pointed, um, freedom from elaboration and then one taste,
Yes, yes,
right? So freedom from elaboration is already path of seeing, isn't it?
right.
So if all this is happening on the path of one taste, like liberation is sort of, you know, not all that liberated yet.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it brings up all the latent tendencies come up, right? How else? That's the way of purifying them. It's by them arising, by them sort of being encountered, because they've been suppressed to some extent, right?
So the cocoon's getting cracked open.
Big time, yeah, big time. Those are the processes for dispelling the three strains, four deviations and five difficult passages and three hindrances. You should recognize your problems and virtues and exert yourself as needed. Do not mix up the objects to be adopted with those to be rejected. This is also in the Lojong slogans. There's a slogan. What does it start with? How does it go?
Is it the greatest defilements first?
Yeah, start with your greatest defilements first. So we all write down our greatest defilements, right? Have you done that? It's good to do that. Like, what are our greatest defilements? Actually know what your defilements are and work on those.
And it's helpful. Actually, recently we were reading through the Profound Treasury, uh, and you've got the main root ones, but then there's all the subsidiary ones. There's about 22 of those, 20 or 22, I guess, depending on what list. So we read those off, and somebody was like, "Okay, I've got 18 of those out of 20, I think it was." Just as we read them off, he was like checking them off and seeing all the ones. So don't stop at just the main 3 or 5 or 6. You know,
This was the list of,
the non-virtues, I guess you could say.
I see. Yeah.
It's in a footnote when they're talking about the root.
Right, right. That's great. Yeah,
Where is where is it?
This is
in the
in the
profound
profound
treasure.
treasure.
Yeah, which part?
I think it's in the. I believe. Well, we're in the section on the four noble truths, so it's all about suffering. I can't give you the exact um, chapter right this moment, but it's probably either perpetuating suffering endlessly or the one before that, something like that.
Yeah, know your mental factors, right? Do not mix up the objects to be adopted with those to be rejected. That was the fifth session, top of 530. 6, development of virtues and progression on the path. The virtues of the preliminaries are that they enable you to achieve their specific benefits and that they support the development of subsequent phases of the path. Furthermore, meditating on the difficulty of acquiring the leisures and opportunities of a precious human birth. Anyone remember how many leisures and how many opportunities there are? This comes from the Nundra, right? Precious human birth. Easy to lose, difficult to gain. A total of 8 leisures and 10 opportunities of a precious human birth. And meditating on death and impermanence, turn your mind away from this lifetime. By contemplating karma and its results, you gain confidence in its process and would risk your life to avoid creating negative actions. That's a tough one, huh? Like encountering little insects or bugs that you don't like. Getting upset. Through reflecting on the deficiencies of samsara, you become weary with its 3 realms. It's funny how to become weary of the form and formless realms when we don't really have much connection with them. They sound pretty good, don't they? Once you are determined to be released from samsara, your sole desires is to attain awakening. Is that your life goal? To attain awakening? Is that like on your bucket list? Skydiving, race car driving, Japan, enlightenment, liberation from samsara. By cultivating love, compassion, and bodhicitta, you develop the intention to only benefit sentient beings with no desire for your own happiness. When you exert yourself in the yoga of the 100 syllables, what would be the yoga of the 100 syllables? Other than Cynthia, let's see.
Talking about Nundra?
Vajrasattva,
Vajrasattva! Yeah, who is Vajrasattva?
the Lord of primordial purity.
All right. It's like Mr.
There's
Clean.
probably more. Yes, Mr. Clean. Okay.
In the Western tradition, remember the commercials, Mr. Clean, the guy like in the white outfit?
Yep. Yep. Now always think of that.
Mr. Clean is on top of your head. What was the product? Was it like ammonia or something? Or
Yeah, it's Mr. Clean.
Bleach.
cool.
Yeah. It's like
Bleach.
That's the stuff that drips down.
The
Yeah,
bleach.
there you go. Yeah.
Ambrosia, bleach. Let's see. When you exert yourself in the yoga of the 100 syllables, signs that you have purified your negative actions appear in actuality and in your dreams, and experiences and realizations arise. Now, the way they appear might seem contradictory because I think they may appear by the negativity appearing and then not reacting to negativity that arises, like in your dreams or in your life, right? Through the practice of offering mandalas, you achieve physical well-being, mental lucidity, decreased desires, and limitless merit. By meditating on Guru Yoga, your devotion blazes from within, samadhi and blessings come, and experiences and realizations arise effortlessly. Whether the main practices develop or not depends on this Guru Yoga. Sadhana Mahamudra is a Guru Yoga, by the way. So if you don't have access to another one, you consider that. Do that. In the main practices, the virtues of shamatha are as follows. When flawless experiences of bliss, clarity, and non-conceptuality develop, you have little craving for food and clothing. Your body glows. Your mind is supple. You achieve the 5 eyes. Have you seen anybody with 5 eyes recently? No? Anyone know the 5 eyes? Like generally as a group? There's eyes on your hands and your forehead and your feet. One on each limb and the head. Those are the 5 eyes. Me, myself, me, myself, and I. They're the 5 eyes. Everybody's sort of not into looking up the numbers tonight, right? What are the 5 eyes? Must be in our little list at the back.
It is. It's on 648.
Thank you. Want to read it?
Well, we have flesh eye. I'm not going to read any of the
Gibberish. Yeah, skip the
yeah,
gibberish.
not the Tibetan. So we've got flesh eye, divine eye, eye of prajna, eye of dharma, and eye of wisdom.
Neat. Thank you. So those are the 5 eyes. The flesh eye, that's what we all have, I think. Divine eye, that's the eye that can see limitless distances and can see through obstructing objects. It can see to the end of the universe. The eye of prajna. What does the eye of prajna see? Nothing much.
Reality, emptiness.
Nothing much. Nothing much. The eye of Dharma. What does the eye of Dharma see? The eyes of Dharma. It's a famous talk by Trungpa Rinpoche, the eyes of Dharma, right in the Shambhala teachings. What was it about?
But there's like 5 of them, or 7.
So here the eyes of Dharma, eye of Dharma is like what to accept and what to reject. And then the eye of wisdom, I guess, is seeing the emptiness endowed with the supreme of all aspects, something like that. Okay, something to look forward to. Your mind is supple, you achieve the 5 eyes, supercognitive abilities, and so forth, and your mental afflictions and thoughts are suppressed. As for the virtues of Vipassana, those of the highest abilities progress through the bhumis and paths all at once. For those of intermediate abilities, they develop in a non-linear way, sometimes all at once, sometimes sequentially. Those of the lowest abilities develop gradually, proceeding sequentially from the bhumi of beginners to the dense bhumi. I love that, the bhumi of beginners. It sounds nice. It's much better than just being a beginner. It's like you have a bhumi, you have your own bhumi. So happy I have a bhumi finally. Doesn't have to wait till I get the first bhumi. It can be the bhumi of beginners. Okay, and it says the lowest abilities develop gradually, and then below that is those who don't, who don't practice, who don't progress, I guess. Progression on the path, 531. Progression on the paths and bhumis occurs in accordance with the way the 12 levels of the 4 yogas manifest. Bye, Lindsay. Yeah, you need to go. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care.
Thank you all, and thank you, Derek. It's been
Have a
really
great summer. All right. Take care. Let's see, the way the 12 levels of the 4 yogas, 3 levels for each of the 4 is, let's see, 4, 8, 12. There you go. 3, 6, 9, 12. During lesser one-pointedness, you may be able to rest as long as you wish in bliss, clarity, or non-conceptuality. That's lesser one-pointedness, right? You can rest as long as you wish in those 3 qualities. Or when resting in meditation, sometimes nothing happens, even though you're meditating. That's an interesting experience. The experience of no experience. At other times, even though you are not meditation, meditation experiences occur. You have not yet fully mastered samadhi. During intermediate one-pointedness, distractions do not disturb you and you rest solidly. When you meditate, meditation experiences occur. You have mastered samadhi. Interesting that samadhi is mastered early on in the progression of these yogas. Very interesting. Sometimes samadhi is considered equivalent to awakening, the enlightenment. During greater one-pointedness, samadhi is continuous, and even intense situations do not distract you. All thoughts are pacified in that state. Sleep is also mixed with that state of samadhi, and your conduct is not separate from it either. Since the flow of experiences is unbroken, you may have a realization that causes you to think, now this is greater non-meditation. However, that is only an experiential realization, not actual realization. It's a little glimpse of non-meditation, but not the real McCoy. This is the period of the paths of accumulation and preparation. Since you don't really recognize the nature of mind, shamatha experiences in which emptiness is grasped predominate. So there's a grasping at emptiness. It's still not a complete experience or realization of emptiness. Sustaining those experiences without fixation purifies them. All aspects of resting with bliss, clarity, or non-conceptuality are completely destroyed, and you see the truth of dharmata. Once threefold emptiness, that of bliss, clarity, and non-conceptuality, is pacified in not being an object, the nature of awareness appears vividly, like something removed from its covering, or a treasure discovered. This is the attainment of the path of seeing, belonging to the Mahayana. It is called freedom from elaborations. Let's try that again. Once threefold emptiness, bliss, clarity, non-conceptuality, is pacified in not being an object. Threefold emptiness. So that, this is like those 3 experiences of bliss, clarity, non-conceptuality, when purified, are the 3 doors of liberation, right? Let's see, is pacified in not being an object. The nature of awareness appears vividly. The nature of awareness appears. That's neat. Like something removed from its covering or a treasure discovered. It's like genuinely realizing emptiness reveals the true nature as like something present. This is the attainment of the path of seeing belonging to the Mahayana. It's called freedom from elaborations. That's like imagine what that experience must be. We tend to think of experiences in terms of our senses, right? Would that be like seeing something, or would it be like hearing something, or would there be a feeling tone to it? But I don't think it's any of those. That feeling of the nature of awareness appears vividly. So it would appear, you're not seeing it, it's not appearing to your five senses, it's appearing to your mind somehow. So it is a mental, so to speak, object.
So it sees awareness, sees itself.
Yeah. It seems that way. What else? Yeah, what else could there be?
And
Self-reflective.
It sounds like the three qualities of non-conceptuality, clarity, and bliss are in a sense obstacles.
It does present it that way, doesn't it? When those are purified, then the awareness, the nature of awareness emerges. Yeah, Mary Beth.
Are those elaborations?
In a sense, they are. They're certainly not gross elaborations, but in a sense, they're like dualistic experiences. Until they're purified by genuinely experiencing emptiness, which would go back to like the end of the last paragraph, because emptiness is being grasped in those experiences generally.
so is it like the cutting the root, turning around,
Yeah, probably. At this point, you're not completely free from the entanglements of the grasping that fixates on emptiness still. As soon as you see the nature of mind even slightly, that is lesser freedom from elaborations, the second of the four yogas. As soon as you see the nature of mind even slightly, which is sort of a humbling statement, because that implies that unless you've achieved completion of one taste, you haven't actually seen the nature of mind. We do. Many of us have received pointing out instruction that's supposed to point out the nature of your mind. But he's saying that we haven't really succeeded in that exercise yet. Which makes sense, it's like initially it's like a conceptual, it's just like emptiness. We like conceptualize the nature of mind. When that grasping at emptiness is purified completely and you have correct realization, ordinary mind manifests clearly without being an object, non-dualistically. That is intermediate freedom from elaborations. It's interesting to think about, like, what is a non-dual experience? What's a non-dualistic experience? Once that realization becomes stable and your discomfort with appearances and comfort with thoughts are purified, that's an interesting statement. Your discomfort with appearances, because appearances are bothersome, right? They're distracting, they're challenging. And your comfort with thoughts are purified. So we hide from appearances by dwelling in our thoughts, right? I think that's something like that. You realize that everything is empty. We're still realizing emptiness further. There's not a single phenomena that is not empty. You sever all misinterpretations about external and internal phenomena right within emptiness. Right within emptiness. As if you could do it outside of emptiness. Like, could you sever them outside of emptiness first, and then you sever them inside of emptiness? That's a funny phrase. Right within emptiness. This is greater freedom from elaborations. During the post-meditative attainment of those three levels of freedom from elaborations, appearances manifest as illusions. You realize the nature of bodhicitta and relinquish the 82 objects to be abandoned on the path of seeing. So, realizing the nature of bodhicitta, that's a good one, right? Because bodhicitta has absolute and relative, and absolute is the nature of reality, right? Does do we have the 82 conceptions? 82 objects to be
It's not
abandoned?
in there. I just looked. It's not there.
What does it stop at? What number?
24.
24. Yeah, okay. We'll have to find out the 82 objects to be abandoned on the path of seeing. You will not take birth in or return to New York. Samsara, cyclic existence, except through the power of your aspiration prayers. This is the attainment of the first bhumi, joyful, and the path of seeing. Yay! Big celebration. Big celebration. By sustaining that over time, you will rise up to one taste. Interesting statement, because most traditions hold that the path of seeing is like an instant, like one moment. At this point, your comfort with phenomena's lack of inherent existence or non-existence, and your slight discomfort with the unimpaired freshness of arising thoughts are both purified. So earlier he said you're purifying the comfort with thoughts. And now we're purifying the slight discomfort with the unimpaired freshness of arising thoughts.
Why would one have discomfort with unimpaired freshness?
That's a very good question. Why would that produce discomfort? Disturbing your mental stillness? Presumably.
I don't.
Eric.
But wait a minute, discomfort with unimpeded freshness or whatever, isn't that like our whole problem? Isn't that like the whole basic problem of why we're not, why we're sort of in samsara?
We're discomfort with the true nature of reality.
Yeah, we don't like reality. It's very threatening to
emptiness. Yeah, we have discomfort with emptiness. It's threatening to us, right?
It's a little bit like in the Bardo state. They talk about there's the dim lights and the bright lights.
Yeah.
And we tend to go towards the dim lights, which is this same phenomena, I think, of being afraid of the vividness of the bright lights, which is in fact what you're supposed to.
Yeah. Turn on the bright lights. The freshness of whatever arises, regardless of whether it's empty or not, free from elaborations or not, is sufficient. The freshness of whatever arises. The essence of realizations about phenomena is one taste. To realize that all the qualities of the path in their entirety are complete in either appearances or emptiness is lesser one taste. That's a wild statement. What is it? The freshness, where are we? All the qualities of the path are complete in either appearances or emptiness. Now, what was experienced on that previous level is blended with the quality of certainty, and both are purified. Matter is not put aside as something external. Here we have mind only, I guess, and awareness is not set apart as internal. Everything, including appearances and mind, consciousnesses and wisdoms, blends as one in the purity of Dharmata. In brief, existence and peace are equal. Peace here is a synonym for nirvana. Samsara and nirvana are fused inseparably. This is intermediate one taste. The many arise as one taste. From that dependently originated appearances, the skillful means radiate, and the one taste arises as many. This is greater one taste and is the attainment of patience in relation to unborn phenomena. This is a famous phrase. Patience occurs in a number of places in the progression of the path. Patience, as we know, is one of the paramitas, right? Is the third paramita, which would be on the path of familiarization or one taste. And patience is also the name of one of the four levels of the path of preparation. Heat, peak, patience, and supreme worldly dharma are the four levels of the path of preparation. And then we have in the path of seeing, there's the 16 aspects of the Four Noble Truths are paired up into 8 pairs of 2. There's the patient acceptance of each of the aspects of the Four Noble Truths, and then their complete knowledge. I think it might go the other way. First there's the knowledge of them, and then there's the patient acceptance of them. And then in the 8th bhumi, we have this experience that he's referenced here, the patience in relation to the unborn nature of reality. The patient endurance of the uncreated. It is the period from the 2nd bhumi to the 7th. Some explain that it includes the 8th. Interesting. At this point, although meditative equipoise and post-meditative attainment have blended, there is still the stain of grasping at emptiness during post-meditative attainment. Interesting. Why would you grasp at emptiness during post-meditative attainment? Because you're not fully realizing emptiness the way you are in meditative equipoise. And so you're trying to make it happen, make it full, continuous. Once that has been purified, and there's not even the slightest difference between what is to be attained and the means of attainment, meditative equipoise and post-meditative attainment, distraction and non-distraction are all pure within the Dharma Dhatu. The absence of all characteristics of an object of meditation and a meditator is lesser non-meditation in the 8th bhumi. At this point, it is possible that during sleep there are occasionally slight stains relating to grasping, occasionally slight stains. When those are purified, there is the single state of wisdom's great equipoise. This is intermediate non-meditation in the 9th and 10th bhumis. Did I skip something? The absence of all characteristics of an object of meditation and a meditator is lesser non-meditation in the 8th bhumi. Next, the next paragraph. Next, the sword of prajna wisdom, prajna jnana, slashes the cognitive obscurations of the two obscurations, kleshas and cognitive obscurations, the kleshas are overcome earlier on, along with their dormant tendencies. Mother luminosity, the utterly pure Dharmadhatu, and child luminosity, mirror-like wisdom, blend. That's interesting to call the child luminosity mirror-like wisdom, referring to one of the 5 wisdoms of the 5 Buddha families. You manifest the awakening of a Buddha, unification, beyond training. Being beyond training is a common term. Unification, that's an interesting term. What is unified in that state is a good question that we'll not dwell on, but it's an interesting thing to think about. This is greater non-meditation, the bhumi of a Buddha. You have traversed the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th bhumis. You manifest the natural purity of the intrinsic, connate state, the Dharmakaya. You actualize the natural purity of thoughts, the minds of sentient beings, the Sambhogakaya. You demonstrate the natural purity of seeming appearances, objects influenced by conditions, the Nirmanakaya. So that's the way they say it happens. First you manifest the Dharmakaya, and then the Sambhogakaya, and then the Nirmanakaya. In case you're close to that stage, in case you're close to that, that's how you want to do it. Through your 3 kayas, or limitless kayas, your inconceivable altruistic activity will effortlessly and non-conceptually spread throughout the reaches of space, bringing benefit to others for as long as samsara is not emptied. That's a really long time. That is the ultimate virtue. Therefore, if you exert yourself in the methods that generate the virtues of the preliminary practices up through non-meditation, one after another, furthering those that have arisen so they do not lapse, all those virtues will arise. Accordingly, generate diligence and practice. Bingo. The summary of all dharmas. That was the 6th session. The 7th is leaving, retreating, going back home. Ground path and final remarks. Ground path and resultant Mahamudra. We've heard that scheme before. In actuality, mind itself is innately thusness, or Mahamudra. The only distinction is whether the twofold purity, primordially present, is realized or not. Twofold purity is the inherent purity of Buddha nature and the purification that occurs on the path. This innate quality is Mahamudra at the time of the ground. Mind itself, from when you start to cultivate the path up through the 10th bhumi, is Mahamudra at the time of the path. When you awaken from the sleep of ignorance and actualize the true nature, that is Mahamudra at the time of the result. View, meditation, conduct, and results. So the 2 main schemes that we use for talking about the entirety of things. To be free from percepts and perceivers and see the true abiding state is the view. To meditate on that nature without distraction is the meditation. To be free of doing things and things to do, and to sustain that during any one of the 4 types of conduct is the conduct. Being free of doing things and things to do.
That sounds so good.
That sounds really hard, doesn't it? I've got all these things to do. Who's going to do the laundry if you're free of doing things? To have no hopes or fears, no fears of falling to the lower states of samsara, or wishes to attain the elevated state of a Buddha, and no sense of an object of meditation and a meditator is the result. Understand the meaning of the view, meditation, conduct, and result in that way, and arouse your diligence.
So the logic
advice.
still gets done. It's just that it's not a you that's doing it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It just happens. Yeah. I mean, you put it in the machine and just turn it on anyway. So.
Because everything is fresh.
Oh, because you're using Mr. Clean. Everything is fresh. So fresh and clean. Advice: have the devotion of total trust in your guru and the revulsion that is free from any attachment to samsara in this life. Rely on undistracted mindfulness at all times. Be without needs and shorten your perspective. If the 8 worldly values, thoughts of this life, or pretenses arise in your mind, crush them like a rock meeting bone. Decisively cut your ties to this life. Ouch. Until you have no sense of ownership about or investment in the stock market or in cryptocurrencies. The development of your meditation. Apply yourself to sustaining it continuously. Experiences and realizations. Although there are many differences between experiences and realizations, simply put, their differences are as follows. If there is a meditator, your mind in meditation, bliss, clarity, non-conceptuality, or emptiness as objects of meditation or objects of experience, that is experience. If the meditator and the meditation not being two separate things is directly realized and not simply an assumption, that is realization. Experiences and realizations must be distinguished. It is important to nurture experiences or realizations with constant effort within a state that neither fixates nor regards them as sublime. 4 mudras. Oh, the 4 mudras. Karma mudra is a path for those of dull faculties. Karma mudra is sexual yoga, right? That everyone just dying, oh, tell me about karma mudra. We want to know about karma mudra. It's like the sexy one, right? But it's for those of dull faculties and the means for achieving the cities of the desire realm. Get really good at desire. Samaya mudra and Dharma mudra are paths for those of intermediate faculties and methods for achieving the cities of the ultimate Akanishta. What a neat phrase, ultimate Akanishta. There's 2 Akanishtas, right? There's one within the realm of desire, I think, and there's one that's beyond the 3 realms. It's like a Buddha field. Mahamudra is a path for those of sharp faculties and the method for achieving the supreme city. It is the inseparability of appearances and emptiness, bliss and emptiness, awareness and emptiness, and clarity and emptiness, free from all conceptual elaborations. It cannot be shown by a guru, cannot be understood by a disciple, and cannot be communicated by words, including big, huge books. It is beyond being something about which we could say, it is this, not that. Being great bliss, which cannot be identified and yet is something experienced. It pervades all the phenomena of samsara and nirvana, all that can appear. This is the great transcendence of the intellect. Although mind, thoughts, and the Dharmakaya abide together primordially, we did not realize that. Now the Guru's instructions show us that they are inseparable, unified, blended as one. Those instructions on Mahamudra are called connate union. That was a nice explanation on Mahamudra. The lineage.
We were also wrestling with connate for a long time there too.
Yeah, really. Hopefully we put that aside. These Mahamudra teachings were transmitted from Vajradhara to Tilopa, Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, and Gampopa. What was transmitted from Gampopa to Gomso and others became the Zhang, Kagyu Mahamudra, and Barom Mahamudra. What was transmitted from Pakmadrupa became the Drikung, Kagyu Mahamudra, Toklam, Kagyu Mahamudra, Chenna, Kagyu, Martsang, and Yelpa Kagyu, Shuksep, Kagyu, Chopu Kagyu, and Yabzang Kagyu. That's a lot of different Kagyus. What was transmitted from Ling Repa, Tsongpa Gyare, and others became the Drukpa Kagyu. In particular, I believe they were students of Pakma Drupa, by the way, which is why they're called the greater and lesser, really refers to older and later, or earlier and later. In particular, what was transmitted from Gampopa to Tusum Khenpa, and has continued uninterruptedly to my guru, the omniscient Kuncho Genlak. Kuncho Genlak was one of the Karmapas, right? Sixth Karmapa, something like that. Is the Karma Kamsang Mahamudra, distinguished instructions from which the heat of blessings has not faded and the moisture of the Dakini's breath has not evaporated. Since these instructions combine the special transmissions of the many Mahamudra teachings that have spread, they are called Mahamudra, connate union. They are endowed with lineage, are the source of numerous virtues, and famous throughout Jambudvipa, like the sun and moon. You can be assured that if you practice these vigorously, like pulverizing bones with a rock, experiences and realizations will arise spontaneously. Practice accordingly. That was the 7th session. Someday Lama Rabjam Mawa Samten Kunga persistently requested me, saying, please teach Mahamudra by emphasizing the pointing out instructions that pinpoint the practice without using scriptural quotations and so forth. That's an interesting request. No like endless quotes, please. Just like get to the point. Get to the point. In response, although I have no experiences myself, I, Mipam Chawang, also known as Vajreshwara, Wangshuk Dorje. So Wangshuk Dorje is Vajreshwara. Interesting. Dutifully wrote this during my meditation sessions at Joka or house in accordance with the teachings of the previous gurus. During my meditation sessions. Usually they say during the breaks between sessions.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
Here, the sessions can be condensed to 20, 22, or 25. How many were there total? I don't know. By this merit, may I and all sentient beings who have been my mothers wholeheartedly turn away from our attachments to pleasurable objects and see the nature of our mind. Shubham Astu Sarva Jagatam. Thank you, everyone. That's a cool ending, isn't it? That was very neat. The 4 mudras, the lineage, and the colophon, or whatever the conclusion. Any final comments, thoughts, or anything? Barbara?
Occurred to me how incredible it is, the amount of detail and specificity of this, that it's really kind of pretty amazing, and
It really is amazing, the detail and all the different aspects and
but this is
pitfalls
a
and
perfect
this.
course. This has been so wonderful. I am so happy to have spent
A
this.
year and a half. Yeah, a year and a half.
It's a long time, and it's been really, really wonderful. And so I have something to toast with. Does anybody?
Yeah, let's do that. Should we have a toast? Give us a toast.
I don't have the liquid though, but
Oh, okay. We'll
I
wait.
could pretend. I'll pretend because I don't want to make everyone wait. But no, this is
You do the toast, we'll do the drinking.
and
Maybe
just
while you get your liquid, we can see if there's other people have any comments. Yes, the system of like Mahamudra. So this is like 1600s or something, and so it comes down from, Tilo, 10th century or so. So it's developed over like 600 years at this point, and it's just really like fleshed out and systematized and schematized and tried and tested, and just amazing. And it hasn't really changed much since this time, it seems. This is like the definitive presentation. Sue,
Well, I'm so grateful for this lineage.
it's
Um,
amazing, isn't it?
yeah, and for all of the students of the lineage, which come together and want to learn. I'm so grateful to all of you who've come, and I didn't know any of you really. I knew Debbie
Yeah,
a little bit before we began, and Derek, that you've spent so much time learning, and that he wrote this, because his
yeah,
students, his
amazing.
students requested.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's just this beautiful flow, and I'm so grateful. I've learned so much um, about what the lineage has to offer, and about Mahamudra, and about my mind.
It's sort of mind blowing, isn't it?
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank Tashi Namgyel and Wangchuk Dorje, and thank all of you. What else? Who else was
And the
speaking?
translators.
And
And the
that's key. Is like people being trained to the point of being able to translate this text with this much accuracy and clarity and fluidity. For years we struggled with Lobsang Lolongpa's translation, which was a great start. In many ways it was very, very not that different, but another leap here with Elizabeth's version, definitely.
Mary Beth disappeared.
Yeah, she must have had to go,
It was
or
it
she
was
went to get a
funny.
drink.
So
Feel
I
sad
first
that it's
downloaded
ending,
that other version, and I was trying to follow, and I was like, "Oh, we're here. What, what?" How? And then I realized like this
He left
trans
stuff out.
so much better. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
the other one was like totally not even
yeah.
close.
Yeah, there's certain parts that are okay, like the common Shamatha and Vipassana are not that bad in Lalumpa, but the Mahamudra section is very different.
typography. That part too was very easy on the eyes. I found to read the text. And some parts
Yeah,
it can use it.
yeah, it's not too small, and it's nicely laid out. That's a big plus for books. That can really make a big difference in books.
Especially these books, I feel like sometimes they don't take the trouble as much as some other types of books.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel so sad that it's ending. It's like school's out and
yeah. That's right. Yeah, it should go on forever. This text, just like start at the beginning again.
and maybe in another after a while.
Another lifetime. Yeah, but that it's like probably people here have read The Profound Treasury twice, right? Or other books, and you see like how much more you get the second time.
And the thing is to do it with practice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would someday we should have a little weekend together, a little retreat together, and use the Wangchuk Dorje text for a retreat. Have a Mahamudra retreat. That would be great.
Yeah,
When
I
is
found
that?
myself
I'll put it in the calendar.
Yeah, really. What was that, Chris?
this this particular section is just reading it and practicing at the same time. I really got the shamatha vipassana, like flipping between them. Like I've never had that experience before.
Yeah, really clarified. That's great. That's great. Yeah, we went really slow through this last text, and that was really helpful for me to go that slow and just like really pick it apart. What is he saying? What are we doing here? It was great. Well, thank you so much, everyone.
Cynthia, did you have I think you had a toast. Were you going to toast? No.
No, I think Barbara was going to toast.
Oh, right, you were getting something to drink. You have it now. You're muted, though. You're muted, Barbara. You're muted.
No, I was going to say, Cynthia, you go ahead. I think I did mine already. I didn't?
How about I'll do one? To the
Okay.
to the Mahamudra lineage.
Yeah.
We are so grateful that it has come down to us in such a pure, powerful, clear, accessible form. May we all embody it. May we all study it. May we practice it with diligence and enthusiasm and perseverance until we accomplish all the stages, paths, and bhumis.
Yay.
Here, here.
Here, here. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, we
Well,
should dedicate the Marin. I mean, I
oh,
know
definitely,
the
yeah.
last
Oh,
book.
we'll do that, yeah. But thank you, everyone, and have a great summer. And I hope you'll join in again in the fall. Chris Wilcox will be joining me in going through. He's been preparing for like, we dragged it out like a year and a half or something. He and I have been
Yeah,
talking
he
about
said that
this.
last year at the retreat. He was like,
Right.
"Oh, we're going to do that," and I was like, "Oh, great!"
What is
You
the
know?
text?
Well, there was this text by Mipam called "The Lion's Roar of Gentong, of Other Emptiness." That
Oh.
that Trungpa Rinpoche got the translation committee to translate at one point because he said it was a very powerful text for him. And Kempo Sultram helped them with it, and another Kempo named Kempo Palden Sherip Rinpoche, who was one of the two famous Kempo brothers from Padma Samye Ling up in upstate New York. And they had this translation, this sort of almost complete translation for many years. And I kept bugging them, like, when are you going to finish it and publish it? I want to do a class on it. And finally they said, okay, we'll do it. and I had to like go through and like get a bunch of copies and then we like read the text and it's like so difficult. It's just like, it seems like it repeats the same thing over and over again. So we decided to like expand the course instead of just going through that text, just like to go through the whole development of Madhyamaka in India, all the fun, all the fun actors, Nagarjuna, Buddhapalita, Baba Viveka, Chandrakirti, Shantideva, Shantirakshita, and then in Tibet go through the representative from each of the four lineages plus the Bun tradition and see how they all interpreted Madhyamaka and where the split then becomes or develops between this so-called Rongtong and Gentong tradition. So it'll be a two-part course. First, in the fall will be India, and then in the winter will be Tibet. And we'll see what happens. So I hope you'll join in or consider that, and I hope you have a great summer. Do some fun practice programs or whatever. Do some fun traveling, and hope to see you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye. Oh, wait.
By this marriage,
Merit.
will attain omniscience, may it defeat the enemy wrongdoing from the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. From the ocean of samsara, may I free all beings. By the confidence of the golden sun of the great east, may the lotus garden of the Rigden's wisdom bloom. May the dark ignorance of sentient beings be dispelled. May all beings enjoy profound, brilliant glory. Tashi Dalek, take care.
Hey,
Do you
take care.
think that profound, brilliant glory and freshness?
Yeah, profound, brilliant glory. That's the emptiness endowed with the supreme of all aspects.
Freshness.
Shenton, freshness. Bye.
Bye.